and welcome back to the Film and TV channel, and we're going to have a look at a movie today. And as I'm recording this on the 19th of April 2022, it's showing at the cinema. Not got a massive run, it's not a massive film, but it's showing on the UK cinemas, and it's also on at the US cinemas from the 1st of April, so it could be having a quick run. So if you want to see this, but a bit more on that in a moment, actually, whether this is worth a watch at the cinema or not, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But that's where it's showing, and we're talking The Contractor. 103 minutes, a 15 certificate here in the UK, an action thriller directed by Tariq Saleh in his first English language film. So there you go, people, fans of Tariq Saleh, if you know who Tariq Saleh is. The film stars Chris Pine, Ben Foster, Gillian Jacobs, Eddie Marsan, J.D. Pardo, Florian Montagnard, and Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah, it's nice to see Kiefer. We don't see a lot of him, but it was nice to see him in this one. And what's it about? Well, after being involuntarily discharged from the US Special Forces, James Harper, played by Pine himself, decides to support his family by joining a private contracting organisation, hence the name, alongside his best friend Foster, and played by Foster, and under the command of a fellow veteran played by Mr. Sutherland, although he's not in it that much. Oversees that on a covert mission, Harper must evade those trying to kill him while making his way back home. Good luck on that. Yeah, so as at all these scores and views I've got here are as at the 19th of April 2022. So I think it's also on demand in the US as well, so you can actually stream this in the USA. I don't think you can in the UK just at the moment. So is it any good? What are people saying about it? Well, Rotten Tomatoes, we go there first. Not a total disaster, but not great. 41% approval rating. That's positivity, if you like. So less than half the critics sort of thought it was okay. That's 70 reviews, and you got an average rating of 5.5 out of 10. So again, just a little bit below that magical 6 out of 10 I like to see with films. 29 fresh and 41 rotten. So again, a lot more rotten than fresh. And the consensus reads, The Contractor is caught between message movie and standard issue action thriller, satisfying neither aim despite strong work from a talented cast. Yeah, I don't disagree with some of that. But if you look at the Rotten Tomatoes audience, Joe Public, the normal guy on the street, 3.8 out of 5, so that equates to 7.6 out of 10. So slightly a bit more favourable than the critics are being. So perhaps the critics are being harsh. Well, that's what a critic is, I suppose. Metacritic, the other little site we'll look at, again very similar, an average score of 52 out of 100. That's based on 18 critics, although 6 were positive, 10 were mixed, and just 2 negative. So again, very much a more positive vein, perhaps, than Rotten Tomatoes. And it scored anywhere between 38 out of 100 and 70 out of 100. And one of the lower marks was from the playlist Kevin Jaganov, that's how you pronounce it, Jagernauth. I'm sorry, Kevin, I've made a total hash of that one. He says, a thriller of divided ambitions that earnestly wants to say something important about the mistreatment of combat veterans by the very government that sends them to war, while also flirting with the opportunity for franchise potential, resulting in a film distinctly cleaved in 2 unsatisfying halves. Excuse me. Yeah, so Kevin wasn't overly impressed. Hollywood Reporter's Sherry Linden, though, she enjoyed it a lot more. She gave it 70 out of 100. She was one of the high marks. And she said director Tariq Saleh, whose previous feature was the excellent Cairo set neo-noir The Niall Hilton Incident, yeah, very good film, stages the shoot-em-ups and explosions effectively, but it's the film's quiet exchanges that carry the most visceral punch. Yeah, it's not just an action thriller. There is a lot of verbiage in this, I call it, a lot of talking and stuff like that, which is fair enough as a character. You build the characters up. Internet Movie Database, this is what we look at. This is Joe Public. Interesting scores on this. It's only getting a 5.7 out of 10. So again, a little bit down on what I like to see, that 6 out of 10 mark. And that's based on, as I'm doing this, 7,515 scores and reviews. Interesting enough, we had to discount the 10 out of 10s and the 1 out of 10s, which are absolute rubbish. We're left with 4,277 people who scored it between 6 and 9, and just 2,605. So quite a, almost a third less scored it between 2 and 5. So that equates, in theory, to a healthier looking 62% positivity. And I'm happy with that. I'm happy with 62% positivity on this film. And that takes me into what I think. And I'm going to be very brief because there's not a lot to talk about. I mean, there are plenty of lulls in this. As I said, there's a lot of verbiage, a lot of scenes where they're chatty, but you get to know the characters. Did I invest in some of the characters? I probably did, actually. Yeah, I quite like 2 or 3 of the characters. But this sort of tells a story, these lulls, and perhaps for the strict, if you like, action thriller fan, there's perhaps not enough tense action scenes in it. But for me, there was just about enough. I'm not a big action fan anyway. It was enough to keep me interested. And it sort of built as well. It sort of built up at one stage into a. I won't say I was on the edge of my seat, but the tension built up nicely in certain action sequences towards the end of the film. I'm not a big fan of Pine. I'm not Pine's biggest fan, but I think he does a good job of holding this all together. And it was also, as I said, nice to see Sutherland again, but although his screen time was a little bit limited. Yes, as I said, we talked about a cinema release, didn't we? Yes, as a cinema feature, it may be slightly lacking. It may disappoint people if you've got to pay $10 or $15 or £10 or £15, whatever you're paying. You might be a little bit disappointed. But as a streaming thing, if you're going to watch this on one of the streaming sites you're on, I don't know which one it'll be showing on yet, or even if you want to buy it on DVD, it's not bad. It stands up a lot better. It's certainly saying it's not a big cinema film, but I just thought it was a good watchable film. And if it's going to be a good watchable film, I will give it a good watchable rating, which is my basic, if you watch my vlogs, of 6 out of 10. So I'm going to give this 6 out of 10. It was certainly better than I thought it would be. The critics don't like it. Most of the public are leaning towards liking it. I'm not saying it's perfect by any means, and there's a lot better out there, action thrillers, but I did enjoy the ride. I thought it was a good film, and I'm glad I watched it. Let me know, guys, anyway, if you get to watch it, what your thoughts are. It's always great to hear from you and your comments. That'll be fantastic. So until we meet again, I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.